Hello, everybody. This is going to be my Bad Batch episode 4 Cornered, in-depth recap and review. And I wanted to do this a few days ago, but I've been really busy the past few days. Um, but without any further ado, I'll get into it. The episode starts off with them discussing where they need to go next. Hunter says that they need to go somewhere to lay low. Omega wants to explore, but Tech says that since the Republic is no longer funding them, they can't because they need fuel, food, and they also need to scramble their signature to evade the Empire. So they head to the nearby planet Pantora to make the modifications and to get supplies. They land in the city on Pantora. So far the artwork of this show has been like really good. Almost like a painting. Seems to be kind of like inspired by like Indian architecture with the way the roofs are shaped. Might be inspired by something else, but that's just the first thing that comes to my mind. They have a funny moment where at the landing pad, the owner is gonna scan their ship, but is open to not scanning it for the money, and but Wrecker doesn't seem to know how bribes work, so and even Tech's like a little bit confused, um, but they end up paying him. However, right after they pay, he goes and tips somebody off that they arrived. Somebody's looking for the Bad Batch, it seems. This person is in question is none other than Ming-Na Wen's character, Fennec Shand from the Mandalorian series. And apparently, she's looking for Omega. Meanwhile, the Bad Batch are bickering over who gets to do what. Wrecker claimed him and Tech have to do all the repairs while everybody else gets to go sightseeing. Omega gets excited at the mention of sightseeing, and Hunter has to clarify. Strictly in and out, quick and quiet supply run. They head into town, and the Empire is having a parade to celebrate the end of the war. There's also a chain code kiosk here, so the Empire already has a pretty strong presence here, it seems. Happens faster than Hunter thought, so he wants to finish the supply run quick. They make it to a shop. The vendor won't buy their explosives because it's illegal, but he does offer to buy Echo because he mistakes him for a droid. It seems like a pretty easy mistake, considering the disguise he's wearing and Echo's robotic arm. They end up agreeing to the deal, selling Echo to the shop for 3,000 credits. Hunter says he'll give the signal once it's time for them to leave. Meanwhile, Omega gets distracted by some dog-like alien creatures, but they're in the back of like a little like vehicle. But she gets noticed by Fennec, who I assume has been trailing them. Hunter notices Omega is gone and runs after her, but Fennec approaches Omega first. Probably pretending to care about Omega. Not really sure. We don't really know much about like her allegiances just yet. Fennec says she will help Omega find her friends, and they begin walking down the road. Meanwhile, Echo meets the new droids he's supposed to be managing, though he immediately reveals that he's not a droid, but he pulls out his blaster to dissuade them from reporting him. Fennec helps Omega steal some food, so she probably does like care a little bit. We know she is not all bad. not an all bad character from her appearance on The Mandalorian, but this is way before then, timeline wise. Omega and Fennec chat a little bit, but Hunter catches up with them. He tracks them. Um, but as Hunter confronts her, Fennec uses Omega as a shield here. So if she's not all bad, she's definitely not all good either. And as a bounty hunter, that kind of tracks. Fennec attacks first, and Omega is able to escape. And for a moment, Hunter was able to overpower Fennec, but she headbutts him, knocking him out. Hunter seems to become unconscious a lot. Police try to confront her, but she runs after Omega. Hunter wakes back up pretty quickly. He radios everyone that someone is after Omega. Echo convinces the droids to go help speed up the ship repair, so they leave sooner. And the whole thing with the droids is pretty funny. I think it reminded me of like the way they interact. It's a lot like, you know, C-3PO and like R2-D2. You have like one like more proper droid, and then like the rowdy like little R2-ish units. Omega escapes into the maintenance tunnels and runs into Wrecker, who's glad to see her. However, Fennec catches up with them. Wrecker sends Omega up the ladder and tries to take on Fennec, but is easily taken out by her. It seems that the ladder from the underground for some reason went all the way up this tower. Kind of a weird design. We get another look at the city here, and as architecture is very cool. Fennec went up the ladder right after her, but Omega locked the door behind her, so that leads Fennec to shoot through like the door's control panel, which, you know, startles Omega, and she's almost falls. She's dangling for her life here. Tech sees this on the city cameras and informs Hunter. Fennec grabs Omega before she falls, but drops her into the back of a vehicle. Hunter steals like a speeder bike and chases after them. Omega pulls the hydraulic lift lever on the hover, you know, truck, I guess. And Fennec falls off onto this car. At least Omega is getting good at evading enemies, it seems. Hunter is able to get Omega and destroy the ship that Fennec had commandeered. But I don't think this is the last the Bad Batch will be seeing of Fennec. Shand. They make it back to the ship and discuss what happened. The consensus being that Fennec is a bounty hunter and that Omega is the target. Fennec Shand goes to the landing pad owner. He's afraid she's going to kill him, but she pays him. He did give her the info, so it's only fair. He held up his end of the bargain. And here, I assume she's speaking to her employer here. It's probably the Kaminoans, since they need like a good clone specimen to make their like super clone that they're working on. But we don't know for sure yet. And we'll probably find out like in an episode or two. And anyway, I thought this was a pretty good episode. I haven't really had much complaints about this series just yet. The artwork's been good. The characters are all great. It's, you know, there's a little bit of kiddie stuff, but there's a lot of good, you know, action and stuff for the adults. Some stuff, like, I'm not sure is, like, kid-friendly, but, you know, it's Star Wars. It's animated, so it's not going to get too bad. Anyway, I think, like, the only complaint I have about this episode is that, like, Omega was, you know, needing to be rescued again, which I guess is going to be sort of a reoccurring thing. But it does seem at least like she's getting um, better at like at least evading like the enemies and throwing a wrench into their plans and stuff. But I'm sure she's gonna get like real good later after they have like a time skip or something, or maybe this season too. I would just it just seems like it just seems like they're like she's just something that needs to be protected right now. But um, I don't think that's gonna be uh how it is forever because we've seen her do some like impressive stuff already. Um, so I think it's just a matter of time. And the same thing like with Ezra Bridger in the Rebel series, he ended up like getting real good real quick. And I've been watching Rebels um, recently. I hadn't watched it before I watched the Bad Batch, but I just been watching it in the meantime while I've been waiting for the Bad Batch episodes. But anyway, remember every Thursday, um, while the Bad Batch is going on, uh, it's going to be Star Wars Hype Night. So keep an eye out for me on Twitch for that. Um, anyway, have a good night. We'll have a stellar night, that is.